Our parsha today, Shabbat Shalom, is Re'eh, which means to see. We are heading deeper into Deuteronomy, the last book of the Torah, as we said earlier. Moses is recounting everything that has happened, and the whole book is a recitation of reminder. Last week in Emet, we talked about what it means to not only listen, but hear. This Shabbat, we take that a little farther by seeing, which can then lead to knowing. It is written, God saw, and it was good. 7 times in Genesis, God observes his creation to be good. In Genesis 4:1-4, after he had spoken light into existence, he declared it to be good. In Genesis chapter 1, verse 10, after separating the water from the land, he called that good. After creating plant life in Genesis chapter 1, verse 12, he saw that it was good also. In Genesis chapter 1, verse 18, after putting in place a system for lighting the earth and for separating night from day, he calls that good. That's what we celebrate at Havdalah. And then we have a very exciting one for today. In Genesis chapter 1, verse 21, he created the animals, and after he did that, he went forth and the animals helped populate the water and the air, and then he observes all of these wonderful creatures and says, that is good too. So finally, after creating humanity as the capstone of his creation, in Genesis chapter 1, verses 26-30, he takes a look, or she, at everything that he or she has created, and looks around and says, you know what? This is not just good. This is very good. He observed, he acknowledged, he saw, and this one world, this one, out of all the other worlds, because he says this one is very good. Not just good, very good. We are reminded by Moses in our parsha that blessings and curses will follow us based upon our choices, something to start thinking about as we move into High Holy Days. We can have it be good. We have the power to create or destroy. It's all up to us. Some feel that seeing is believing, and yes, at times that may be true. Yet we are also meant to have faith in this omnipotent, all-powerful God that we really can't see, and we are meant to know and have a relationship with. True faith is most prevalent and powerful when against all odds, no matter what is happening in our lives, we can hold on. So think of everyone in the fires in Malibu. I was in that. Now we have the fires in Maui. You have to hold on and you have to have faith. You don't know if you have a home or not, but you have to have faith that you're going to get through this. And if you've lost loved ones or animals, it's devastating. But somehow you have to have faith and get through the difficulties, knowing that we have something that is guiding us, something that will not let us fall, and that while we're in the process of these difficulties and these traumas and these disasters, that we don't lose our faith in that which is not seen. And even if you're not sure about your relationship with God, we have divinity inside of ourselves, and we need to have faith in ourselves that we can get through the darkness to the light. At funerals, I frequently mention the reality of a baby. A mom is pregnant, she's carrying that baby. We don't actually see the baby, but the baby is there in a parallel existence to us. And just as our loved ones, when they pass and move on, they are there in a parallel existence to us. Sometimes we have people who will get evidence of the presence of those who have moved on. Messages and signs, maybe some sights, some smells, some sounds. Anybody ever experience any of that? There is so much that we don't see that is really there. What about a loved one who has been there for us all along and we didn't see it until we were ready? Or whether in times of need or maybe even in a relationship, there's someone who's standing patiently by that's there for us 100%, whether it's a partner or a really good friend or a family member waiting for us to open up and to finally see. Everyone needs to be seen. Everyone needs to be listened to be heard, to be seen, and to be known. And God is like that, waiting patiently by, waiting for us to see, to not only listen and to hear like last Shabbat, but to now see, even when feeling him or her not. At the time of the Exodus, we were meant to see the 10 plagues, to witness the glory and wonder of God, the one true God, at a time of many gods. However, sometimes our need to see gets in the way of our actual vision. Sometimes we turn away and don't want to see a stranger that is in need, the homeless person on the street, maybe someone we ran into at the market on our way, and maybe we just don't want to engage with them. Maybe we don't have our makeup on. Maybe we're just not in the mood. Maybe we just don't like them, and we kind of go to another aisle or something like that. But times happen when we want to see and be seen, and then times when we maybe just, want to have some privacy and not see. So it's important to recognize when we want to hide, when we choose to not be seen. And then also when we choose to put ourselves out there and truly be seen. It's always difficult for people to believe that when I was young, I was incredibly shy, horribly shy. I went to 2 schools for almost every grade until I got to high school. So to overcome that, I knew that I had to get with the program really fast because I probably only had 6 months to get to know people. And I like to be around people, but I am shy. And then later on, I went into theater, and that of course helped, and it's quite common for actors to actually be shy. The very act of overcoming that which is held within the character and being one with that character, you get to hide, right, Dan? You get to dissolve and hide behind that character. Dan's done theater. Rather than being seen through the lens of our own selves, we get to be somehow seen through the lens of someone else. But then nevertheless, we are seen. But we can choose to see or not see. So I probably never should have listened, but when you look back on a life, I wouldn't be standing here today maybe had I listened. But I was at a very famous acting school, but I was singing at the same time and I was acting. And the director said, you have to make a choice between being a singer or an actress. You can't put all your energy into both. Choose one, be really excellent at one, and then if you want to do something else, fine. But then much later, Streisand became a big thing. We have all these actors now who sing, and sometimes they don't even sing and they learn how to sing so they can do the part. But everything happens in our lives for a reason. So much like in Hamlet, we can choose to be or not to be. We can choose to see or not see. We can choose to be seen, or we can choose to hide and not be seen. That is really the ultimate question. Are we going to see another's despair, pain, hurt, or are we going to turn away? Are we going to see another's misfortune, or are we going to turn a blind eye? Or on another note, are we going to see another's unabashed love and support when we are not so inclined to reciprocate, or maybe not even feeling worthy of their love at that time, not being able to open ourselves up to that love? So as the new year is approaching, we need to ask ourselves these questions. How fully do we want to be? Seeing is risky, because with it comes choice and the free will that we have been given. Are we going to see what needs to be fixed, or are we going to run away? Are we going to see the gifts that we have been given personally or collectively and actually embrace them, acknowledge them, nurture them, and then fully share them? It's interesting when talking about blessing and curse that our Parsha also speaks about tithing, giving charity, and then also about releasing people from their debt after a period of time. Not looking away and seeing where help is needed, financially or otherwise, offering support, and then sometimes being willing to release and let go. If one has been blessed with the resources to help, it cannot be avoided. You cannot turn a blind eye and choose not to see. We are all commanded to see, to act, to share what we are able to support, to not hold back or run away or hide, and then to release and set free. We all have the power to choose who we want to be, how we will treat one another. And then these choices can at times affect the reality that we live in at any given moment. But times change, and so too can we. We are always evolving. Rashi, our greatest medieval commentator, tells us regarding this parsha that God's blessings are unconditional. They are given to us before we earn them. Think about that. The blessings are there before we earn them. We have the choice to prepare ourselves and put ourselves in the flow of that abundance. However, in contrast, God's curses are conditional. They only apply after we have sinned. God has rigged the system in our favor. And this is Rashi saying that. There is a favorable divine bias toward us. God is not neutral or dispassionate, but is deeply involved with us, and over again calls us to make the right choices for our own benefit and the world as well. We are rapidly approaching High Holy Days. Let us choose to see that which is unseen in ourselves, in others, in our world, and where we can make a difference. Let us choose who we engage with, who we stay away from. Let us make sure that we abide with good companions, positive influences. Let us choose to search for all the hidden parts of ourself that need redemption, renewal, rebirth, and truly see, so that we can fix that which is hidden and be not only written, but sealed for a better new year. Let us choose to see God so that when it's most dark, we will have something to hang on to. That is where the real faith comes in and the lifeline that we need to get through the hardest of times. So if we choose to see, if we choose to know, if we choose to support, if we choose to help, all will be good. Not just good, very good. And just like God, we create our reality. Curses will fade away and blessings will follow in abundance. This Shabbat and always, may it be so. Ken Yehi Ratzon, may it be God's will. Shabbat Shalom.